Test, test, test. How's it going, guys? Angus here from Makers Muse. But you already knew that because you're here watching a stream I only scheduled half an hour ago. Hey, how's it going, guys? We got Physics Boy, Galactic 3D, Shibe Guy, Gaming and Creating, Grandpa Bill, Deputy Dog, Jake. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for coming, guys. As I said, this wasn't really pre-planned, but I felt like I wanted to make a stream to catch up with you guys and talk about some things that have been on my mind lately in the whole YouTube space, and make a video kind of explaining how I got to where I am now, making 3D printing content as a full-time job and making it sustainable so I can pay my rent using using my YouTube. And also we got Print 3D in the chat. Welcome. And heaps of you guys are new to the channel because the channel just recently passed 200,000 subscribers, which is absolutely nuts. For a start, thank you for being here and subscribing and supporting the channel. But when I first started, I remember 3,000 was such a massive number. Because initially I wasn't really paying attention to subscribers. The whole channel thing it was just a hobby. And I'll go into more about that in a little bit. But I remember I reached 3,000, it was just wow, that's just nuts. And I remember telling a friend, 10,000 I think is probably the minimum you need to make this full time. And now we're at 200,000. And I'm not the only 3D printing YouTuber to reach 200,000. Devin over at Make Anything is actually past me now. He's 204,000 or something. Which is absolutely crazy. So I have a little list, and I sort of want to talk through a few things. I've got some water, and I've got Festive Bundaberg Spiced Ginger Beer. If you're in Australia and you haven't tried this, definitely give it a shot. It's really, really good. Oh, thank you so much, Robert, for the $2. Thank you again for the Fusion 360 vids. No worries at all. I really do appreciate it, and I love bringing those sort of videos out to you guys. Which sort of takes me to how I got to running a YouTube channel. This isn't my first YouTube channel. I've been making videos on YouTube for a while, and I'm not going to link you to any of them, but they do still exist. I have videos of me just testing random things, building robots, tutorials for robots, all sorts scattered throughout YouTube. So I just used to use it to upload stuff as an archive. And the robot videos were used as part of a crowdfunding campaign for a robot event I did. And they were tutorials. So I've been always wanting to share my knowledge through YouTube for a while. I realized that YouTube's a very powerful way to do it because 1-on-1, you can only do so much, or 1-10, you can only do so much, but a video can be watched by anyone anywhere in the world at any time. I mean, I'm in bed while a lot of you guys are watching videos if you're in America, for example, or the UK. The wonders of time differences that I've had to learn through running this channel. So I discovered early on that YouTube was fantastic for a basically free platform to upload educational content. Do I foot drag your videos? Oh, hello. I know who you are. So for this stuff, I discovered early on that YouTube was really valuable. But Makers Muse started out, again, as just a passion project, or almost like a creative outlet. I was working at a 3D printing studio in Perth called 3D Printing Studios Perth. And I was the lead industrial designer there. Well, I was the only industrial designer, to be honest. It's a pretty... I was the guy that did everything. The quoting, the design, the printing. I pretty much ran the shop. And for me, I was having people come in and ask questions every 5 seconds. And people were asking what's this printer like? Or what do you think of this printer? Or how do I do this? Or, my machine's clogged because I ran PLA through it at ABS settings. Thank you for the $2, Wayne. And I thought, okay, well, I know how YouTube works. I've got some pretty basic camera gear. I had this camera right here, which is a C920 Logitech webcam. Look, you don't need expensive gear to make a YouTube channel. By all means, this camera's been used for years and it still does me well. I do have an expensive microphone, but that's unnecessary. So I started making YouTube videos And I knew a bit about video editing, but not much. Sorry about that clink. And then people around the world started watching them. So as I was working at the studio, I'd go home and then I'd start making videos. Oh, Chatman moving in your time slot. I completely forgot about that, dude. I'm very sorry. I've got it. Oh, there's so many people who do awesome streams now. If you guys haven't seen Jatman's show on Twitch, go check him out. I do apologize. But people around the world started watching these videos and I started to gain a following. And then people started coming to the shop being like, oh, hey, are you Angus from Makers Muse? But I wanted to get past this, this misconception that the community has about tech channels and how to start one, how to make them sustainable, how to run them. Spicy. And the first goes to how do you get the tech, right? So I'm a keen follower of Linus Tech Tips. I really do like his style of content, how he's grown his channel. Linus Tech Tips to me is like my aspiration, the model that I sort of aspire to for a functional business on YouTube. Which is why I wear the Linus Tech Tips WAN hoodie a lot. You know, that cost me 200 Australian dollars to get it here. But I really respect their channel and I just wanted to show my support. But a great video Linus did a long time ago was like talking about how he got to where he is. And it kind of mirrors what I did. He was working at a computer tech store, NCIX, and they got him to unbox tech. So he was unboxing tech he didn't have to pay for, nor did he have to keep, nor did he care. He produced the content and moved on. And I had the opportunity when I was working at the studio to do the same thing. I could get 3D printers we had in the studio, take them home, and do a video review. And to be completely honest, I basically begged, borrowed, stole my way through those first videos. My Up Mini 2, my Up Mini, original Up Mini, I owned. I had bought that previously. The Flashforge Dreamer, I borrowed from work over the weekend. The CEL Robux, I borrowed from work. I even went into the studio on weekends to talk about filaments. I did not have much money, and I wanted to share with you guys my experiences, so I would literally go into work and film stuff for myself. So that's the first misconception. People think you have to go out and buy tech to make a tech review channel. You want to find an alternate route, and you should not go out and expect companies to just send you stuff. And that takes me to the next point, because a lot of people think I must be contacting companies all the time to get them to send me products to review. And that's not really true. I think I've only contacted a couple of companies over the course of the channel, one of which was the Cocoon Create, which was the Wanhao i3 version 2, because I had bought an i3, the original Wanhao i3, and I saw that Aldi was bringing one out. So I got in touch saying, hey, I'm in Australia, could you lend me one to review? And they said, look, we'll just send it to you. So I wasn't even asking to keep it. That was one of the first companies I actually reached out to. I've reached out to a few filament companies, small things like that, like Polymaker, for example, but nothing massive. Technium saying, don't be Linus. I am very different to Linus. I'm just saying I really respect the model he's built. But YouTube's changing as well. And 2017 has shown the biggest shift I've ever seen in YouTube to date. And again, I've been using it for a long time, but you know, being a full-time YouTuber, you have to know what's going on the platform. And things have been changing an awful lot for YouTubers. For a start, demonetization. We all know the whole PewDiePie drama, which was overhyped by the media. Fact of the matter is, demonetization is very real even now, because the Google algorithm is pretty much random and latches onto things that are auto-detected, and it's a guilty till proven innocent system. I'll be completely honest, I've only been hit twice. In the entire duration of the channel, I've only been hit twice, and they were both reversed within 24 hours. I was lucky. I'm very PG on my YouTube channel. I'd keep things at a level that a kid could watch safely, mostly. Which is hard for an Australian to do, by the way. But a lot of my fellow YouTubers don't. If you're in entertainment, for example, of course you swear. If you're a reaction channel, of course you swear. If you play computer games, you know. So a lot of these channels are just being destroyed right now on YouTube. like, what's a good, iDubbbz, for example, massive channel, H3H3, huge respect for Ethan and Ela. We've got Dibble, who's another fellow Australian who did great call-out videos. They're all suffering. I mean, I know Marcus Dibble basically doesn't even upload anymore because he can't make any money off it and he's been demoralized by it. He uploaded a vlog yesterday about it. And, you know, Ethan and Ela, even Electro Boom, you know, the guy that makes videos about electronics and it's funny and they blow up and stuff, demonetized. And Cody's Lab almost got destroyed, even almost got wiped off the face of YouTube because of 2 strikes that weren't even realistic. Like, he shows stuff like making gunpowder and, you know, mercury experiments, but it's not like, you know, extremists. It's nothing like that. So it's this whole guilty till proven innocent mentality that's kind of killing YouTube. And I've been really lucky, but I'm not blind to it. And I'm not blind to the fact that YouTube itself is a changing beast. I'm lucky to be able to upload for free. I mean, paying a monthly fee to YouTube to upload I wouldn't really have a problem with that, to be honest, if it meant I wasn't so variably being paid, because, you know, the AdSense, just even if I'm not demonetized, varies so much. It's month by month. It could be double what it was previous month. It could be half what it was previous. You know, it could be nothing. I could get a viral hit and get more. It's completely unreliable to have it as a stable income. Just having a look through the chat. Yeah, Electro Boom, WTF, absolutely. Oops, FTW. I know you said WTF. This whole stream's going to be demonetized now. Yeah, there's a lot of alternate YouTube companies popping up, like VidMe. A lot of the community is moving to VidMe. A lot of them moving, Technium just mentioned DTube. There's so many out there. But the fact of the matter is the audience isn't there. Not yet. YouTube still has such a far-reaching audience that even if my videos weren't making any money anymore, I would stay on YouTube. Because that takes us to, you know, the next thing about how YouTube became my full-time job. How do you monetize this? Like, how do you monetize a tech channel without selling your soul? And yeah, there's been a lot of talk lately in the community about people being paid under the table for reviews, or you know, misleading reviews for affiliate links and undisclosed sponsorships. And it absolutely happens. I'm not saying it happens in 3D printing as much, but it absolutely would happen in other tech fields for sure. But how do you make a channel sustainable without doing that? Well, I'll be completely honest, it is difficult. But when I started taking YouTube seriously, I changed my mentality about it. When originally it's like, okay, I'm making a video and just let it go. It's doing its thing. I don't care anymore. For me now, I always apply an ROI equation to everything I do on the channel, and that is return on investment. So if I make a video, I have to think, okay, what do I get in return for it? And with that equation, let's say if I took money for a review that was which was unfair, and I said it was great when it's a piece of crap, then what's my ROI on that? Okay, well, I get a bit of money, but it all comes out in the wash, guys. A few months later, you guys are going to buy that printer thinking it was good, find out it's crap, and my reputation goes right through the floor. And I would never do that to you or to myself. I would never sell my reputation short by promoting something that's actually terrible and pretending it's good, because that's just not how I roll. I'd rather say something's complete crap and never talk to that supplier again than say it's good when it's not. And case in point, the Flying Bear Tornado, which I just recorded a video on, it's a complete steaming pile of rubbish. If you want a working printer, don't buy it. If you want a kit that you want to spend twice as much to actually replace parts, and you enjoy that, then you will buy it. Stuff like that. Like, I would never be paid to sell my opinion. So how do you make money? Well, you want to find alternate sources that are a fair transaction, or what would be called a what's the word for it? A fair exchange. That's the word. So a good example is my ebooks. So I try to give you guys valuable information on YouTube, But I'm like, okay, well, the video platform's only so valuable on YouTube. You can't make a video 2 hours long because, you know, no one's going to watch it. So I'll do an ebook and sell it for 10, 20 bucks or whatever. And if you want to, you can buy it, and that supports the channel. And I'll be completely honest, the stuff I do outside of YouTube, like the ebooks and stuff, often is more than AdSense. Because AdSense is terrible. You might think 200,000 subscribers, I've got a Lamborghini in the garage. Nope. I've got my little Echo, and I've got my cheap JDM Galant, which was under $10,000 Australian. Like that, and I had to save for it. Like, you do not make a lot of money with 200,000 subscribers anymore on AdSense alone. It's absolutely non-existent. So you want alternate sources. So if you're watching this, trying to make YouTube a business, keep that in mind. Do not have AdSense as your core model. And I'm going to hugely shout out to Tim Schmoyer, who runs the Video Creators channel. Go hit him up. He has a great channel with heaps of free content on growing a YouTube channel based around this value add proposition. How do you add value to what you're providing? Because I provide you guys with reviews and tutorials, and in return, I guess, earn your respect. And some of you may see that respect as a way to, if I provided a product, you might be like, well, okay, Angus showed me this, I will buy his product. Not all of you, I'm not saying you have to, but that's the model I go for. James saying Galant, do a video on it. I have not seen a single other Galant in Australia. I've seen a Legnum, but I haven't seen a Galant. They're pretty uncommon. Sorry, I haven't really been reading the chat. I do apologize. Someone said if I got paid $1 million, $10 million, I would do it. Yeah, I would. And I would fully disclose it as well, because it would be pretty funny, and then I'd be set. I would literally never do anything behind the scenes because, look, it's illegal. Misleading advertising is illegal. Australia Post got done here because they paid Instagram influencers to be like, hey, look at me, I'm going to Australia Post to post a parcel, and they didn't disclose it as paid, and they got massively busted. Dude, Shivel, what the heck? What? Man. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Okay, shout out to Shivel, who has been such a long-term supporter of Makers Muse, guys. I don't know what to say. You've been supporting me on Patreon for so long, you didn't need to do that. I so appreciate it, though. I've completely lost my train of thought now. Man, thank you so much. Jeez. Well, like... Far out. I was just doing this casual stream to fill you in. I was not expecting anything. You're a champion. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I guess that takes me into what I also wanted to talk about, which was how do I keep this going? Obviously through support like Shivel, but you did not need to do that. Yay, I'm broken. You broke me completely. I'm broken. Oh man. Okay. Thank you. Okay. What was I saying? Expanding. That's right. Makes me doing something. So, in the future, how do we keep this going? Because YouTube itself is an unreliable source of income, and a lot of creators are discovering that now. Well, still broken. Well, as you can see, I've kind of run out of room. And as the channel's grown, it's become interesting because the idea of doing a 3D printing review, going back to return on investment, a lot of you, and I completely understand, $500 for a 3D printer is a lot of money. When I got my Up Mini, it was $1,500 back in 2011, I think. That was heaps. Like, I had no money. I was a uni student. I was POV. I had no money. That was tons of money. And it did pay itself off, but that was a lot of cash. So I understand if you're a student, $500 US is a lot of money. But for me, to put it in perspective, if I provide a video on a 3D printer and it's positive, I get to keep the printer, sure, in some cases, but that company makes bank. Because you see it and you're like, okay, Angus likes this printer, it's obviously good. Or even if I don't like it, even if I crap on it, you might like it for other reasons. And then it gets publicity. So a good example is the CR10, right? That machine would not have been nearly as popular if people in the 3D printing community didn't talk about it. And I'm not just talking about YouTube, I'm talking about people who bought it and talked well about it on Facebook groups, for example, as well. You can guarantee Creality has made millions of dollars off those machines. Easily. I know like one coupon code made almost $250,000. And that was one coupon code. And that's a big return on investment for them. But what's the return on investment for us as creators? Because we spend often weeks testing these 3D printers. And the churn increases and increases and increases. You know, it'll be, here's a 3D printer, you know, we want to review in 2 weeks. Here's a 3D printer we want to review in a week. And I've been working with Gearbest lately, and look, they've been great, I'll be honest. But they sent a printer, and they're like, can you do a video for 3 days' time? Like, it arrived, they wanted a video in 3 days, and I'm like, no, there's no way. I couldn't even print enough stuff in 3 days. So it's 2017's seen an acceleration of this realization that these companies can send stuff to people like myself and other creators and then make bank on these reviews. It's almost like the Great Firewall kind of crumbled a bit in China, and they started seeing YouTube for the first time and realizing how many people are watching these videos. Whereas initially, like, I'd make videos about like the flash forward dreamers, for example, and people would see them and be like, oh, that's interesting, I might get it, might not. Now it's like a hype thing. Like, a printer will be reviewed positively and it's the next big thing. It's the next hype. And look, some of it's deserved. Like the CR10 Mini is a good machine. I like it. But it's just another 3D printer. I mean, how many 3D printers do we need in this market at this day and age? The end of 2017, they're coming out every week. They change them. And the thing is, they're parts machines, so they change parts as well. It keeps updating and updating. So, like I've said before, I'm cutting back on reviews. If I take a printer on, it's not so much now because I want a printer. It's more because, you know, I want to inform people about that printer, and then I've got to figure out what to do with it afterwards. Sometimes I will, like, the Flying Bear Tornado looked interesting, and I was really disappointed with it. But some of them are just like yet another i3 kit. And it's like, what value are you bringing to the 3D printing community? You're just here to make money off us and the community. And I don't really want anything to do with that, to be honest. Like, I need to make a living, but there's a certain line in the sand where you're like, this printer literally brings nothing to the table. It's the same as all of them, it's just $10 cheaper. What have you brought to the community that actually you deserve to be here? Like the Mark III. You know, the Joseph could have just brought out another slightly better i3. But no, with the Mark III, he went all out with heaps of new features. That's what we need in the community. Not, oh, here's one that's slightly cheaper. Just again, my opinion, but that's just how it is. So, in terms of expanding the channel, I've obviously run out of room, and I do want to give you guys further content in other things than 3D printing, like CNC, and, you know, if something's going to be reviewed, it has to be pretty impressive and pretty interesting. Like, it's either super cheap and really valuable, or like large and impressive and interesting. So I've run out of space, so we're moving. That's the big announcement. I announced on Twitter that something's happening. We are actually moving to a bigger premises, and it's a massive, massive jump for me because it's a big risk, especially with the turmoil that YouTube's in. I've been pretty lucky again with the demonetization thing, but it's a big jump in price and it's a big jump in space. And by doing that, I hope to bring you better quality content on machines that I can't currently look at, or projects I can't currently cover. James is saying kickstart for a makerspace. Yeah, I did have a good discussion with you guys on the weekend about makerspaces and making them profitable. Look, if you want to get a space somewhere near me, I will provide the printers, but I'm not going to pay for the space because I don't see the value in the risk of doing that. In Sydney, yeah. It has to be in Sydney. I'm not sending printers overseas. So yeah, it's still in the Gong. It's not actually too far from where we are now, but it's a bigger premises, still fiber to the premises, which is absolutely critical for the internet to do a YouTube channel and stream to you guys at 1080p. But it's a big step, and you're going to start seeing more of that, as I said, I guess, value add content. So more courses, like video courses. I announced a buyer's guide course a while ago. That's kind of halfway done, but there's another one I'm working on too, which is like a beginner's guide. More ebooks, more things like that. That's how I'd rather keep this going than being like, hey, this is the best printer ever, here's an affiliate code. And yeah, like in my Makerspace video, I do have affiliate codes, absolutely, because like I figure if you're going to see the value in the Makerspace idea, then I get a someone said not to use kickback. Apparently it's got like negative connotations. I get a bit of money for that. Not a huge amount by all means. But it's not like I'm saying this is the best printer in the world, buy it and use the affiliate code. I would never do that. That just sits so wrong with me. Agent Smith is saying, are laser cutter CNC machines legal to import to Australia for the consumer? Yeah, they are actually legal. Australia has tight laws on lasers, but not on industrial laser diodes. So you can bring a machine in, but you can't like buy a high-powered laser pointer. Go figure. It's how it is. Yeah, so I don't know if that clarifies anything. But to recap, if you just joined, being a tech YouTuber or a tech channel on YouTube is definitely still possible. But I wanted to just cut through those, the idea that you have to go out and, don't swear, what's the word? Suck up to every supplier as opposed to suck something. Yeah, okay. Moving on. You don't have to sell your soul. Just find an alternate means. Use what you've got. If you go back to MKB, I can't say Markers. I'm still broken from Shivel's thing. I'm sorry. If you go back to MKBHD's YouTube first videos on YouTube, he reviewed like a remote controller. Use what you've got. And I would still be making videos for you guys if I only had the Up Mini and the Prusa not the Prusa i3, the Wanhao i3 that I purchased a couple of years ago. I would absolutely still be doing videos for you guys. Because the value for me isn't in getting hardware. The value for me is empowering creativity and making it sustainable. A large reason I don't just sell these machines is because it's unethical, but the reason I don't give them away is because I can't support them. And we all know that 3D printers aren't ready for the general consumer. Like, they have issues. I do keep a lot of them for comparison reasons as well. But yeah, like, as I said, if you want to make a makerspace in Sydney, just let me know and they can be on permanent loan to you. Just don't call me for maintenance. I'm not doing it. So I'm just going to check through some comments. I do really, really appreciate you guys supporting the channel and joining me here for this random stream. Sean's saying, will your new place fix your problems with the landlord hanging stuff on the wall? Kind of. The new place has a proper garage. So I can put stuff on the garage. And Lady Muse has just returned. Oh, that 3D printing guy. Thanks, Will. $10. Well said on affiliate links. Have a drink. Yeah. Like I said, look, there's nothing inherently evil with affiliate links. Again, going back to Linus Tech Tips, every time they have a product, they have an affiliate link for whatever reason. Even if they don't review something in the video or they're just doing a vlog, they have affiliate links for like hammers and things as a joke. Because you shouldn't be ashamed of making money. But at the same time, you have to have integrity. And if you use affiliate links and have integrity, I don't think people have an issue with it. It's where if you just say like, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing, best thing ever, buy it, buy it, buy it, here's a code, oh my god, buy it. That's not really believable. We're all kind of jaded with that sort of behavior, and that's why I've never seen that on Makers Muse. I'd never do that at all. Sorry, reading through the chat. Michael's saying, what's the outro song? The outro song is something I wrote 2 years ago or something. I make all my music on Makers Muse because I play music as a hobby, and it lets me not worry about copyright strikes from accidentally using trademark music or whatever, copyrighted music. So I make it myself, and that was a purpose-made outro song. The sample was from an old advertisement, which I can no longer find on YouTube. And yeah, I wish I could find it again. It was great. It was talking about the Bermuda Triangle or something. And it like had that intro with the, man has actually walked in space. And I just love it. So that I used it in that song. Kevin's talking about combat robot videos, maybe. Again, moving to a new space will have an actual workshop, garage, enclosed garage, which could be a workshop. Here we have a carport which is open, so there's no safety for keeping my tools like protected and from theft. And also when it rains, it tends to rain sideways into it. So that's why I haven't been able to do any robot stuff. Like I can't build combat robots in here. It's not possible. But at a new space, I might be able to. Bludge Guts, thanks for the $2. Makers Therapy, if you publish honest reviews, affiliate links will tend to follow your editorial line, so I don't think you'd put affiliates to crappy products. I do sometimes, but I'd sort of say, like, if you really want to buy it, the link's below. Like with the Flying Bear Tornado, I'm pretty much saying if you really want to buy it, the link's below. They don't even have affiliate links, though, by the way. They are actually just on AliExpress, which is really weird. Like, a product's not that great if you can only get it through AliExpress. Oh, Will, you don't have to keep doing that. And a drink for Lady Muse for creating the Joelbot and ridding the world of Baby Groot. Joelbot went nuts. It's really interesting because she just did those drawings ages ago, just as a bit of a joke. And she did a few different creators. And then Travis 3D modeled it, and it just went crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's awesome. Let's go pop this out so I can chat properly. Francisco saying use royalty-free musics and videos. You can, but often a lot of my friends have been flagged when they thought they were using royalty-free music. And I'll be honest, I'm proud. I like the fact that I use my own music. Even if sometimes people say, oh, this is awful, I don't care. I'm using it for myself. And I enjoy to make it as a hobby. When's the Flying Bear video coming out? I just recorded it probably... well, I've got to do the Makerspace one next, so early next week, actually. Not anytime soon. So don't buy it yet. I'd wait for the video. Ian saying, do I have a Thingiverse account? Yes, I don't use it anymore. Going back to the value proposition for what I do for Makers Muse, I use Gumtree. Not Gumtree, Gumroad. Gumtree's the Australian buy and sell marketplace. No, Gumroad I use for my STL files, even if they're free. And I do that because I control it, and I do get an email address. So if you really want, you can just put in like a fake email address and download it anyway. But it lets me add to my email list, which I haven't used yet, but hopefully I can add to an email list that I can contact you guys with information and like things that are coming up. Like I'm planning to do a podcast, for example. And if I do get that podcast happening, I'll tell people via email. But also it means people can tip me. And I know Thingiverse you can tip, but then Thingiverse takes a cut, and I don't see anyone ever getting tipped on Thingiverse. Whereas on Gumroad, it makes it really obvious that you can pay a little bit more money to get a file, and that supports me too. So I often actually get a little, couple of $100 now and then over a course of a couple of weeks through Gumroad because people tip. And that helps the channel, helps me pay my rent as well. Jeeves me say car ramrod. There you go. Oh, Shadow Pack, thanks for the $20. I've been watching you for a while now since I started 3D printing. Love your content and format. Congratulations on the expansion. I'm joining your Patreon now to help you keep the great content coming. Thank you so much. Like, look, the guys on Patreon are amazing because going back to YouTube being flaky with money, with AdSense, Patreon's been a really stable income for me. And I try to release cool stuff on there. Like, you might have seen this thing recently. This is the first version of a Christmas tree torture test for Christmas. Yes, we're already starting that in November. It's not perfect, but I shared it on Patreon and heaps of you guys printed it and showed me your results. So I'm going to take your feedback in and modify it for a new version. So you get access to stuff like that when you're on Patreon. I try to sort of give it extra value so it's worth your time. Again, return on investment. Your return on investment should be worth what you're paying into Patreon. And we do a fortnightly stream as well. We're going to do one this weekend. Spam from Angus. I guarantee you'll get like no emails ever from me, and you can just unsubscribe. But yeah, I do collect the emails. I haven't done anything with them yet. Sim Paradox saying it'd be interesting to see an output comparison between hobby level 3D printers and commercial level. That goes to my next issue, which is like time management. As an individual, it's very difficult, but I have had an idea for a long time to work with the Sydney 3D printing studio to do a test on their Stratasys Fortis 450 MC industrial 3D printer. Like, these are humongous 3D printers, and compare the print quality to something off like the Up Mini, for example. That would be cool. I'd like to do that. So like a 3D printing gauntlet, if you like. Maybe. Randall saying, how's the new place you're moving to with the internet? It's exactly the same, hopefully, with NBN. They're doing their best to destroy the NBN infrastructure, but hopefully, because it's already in place, it can't be destroyed too much, although we're starting to encounter an oversell issue, even where we are here. So when everyone comes home and they Netflix and chill, we get packet loss issues. Even though it's fast and unreliable, which is okay for uploading videos, but when I do have the rare chance to game, it's really frustrating because I miss things and I get killed and frustration occurs. Sam's saying, do you think a laser cutter could be used to preheat the last layer of print prior or during laying down the next layer to improve interlayer adhesion? I think that would probably not be a great idea, I'll be honest. A laser will most likely burn the material rather than melt it. It's very localized heat. Lasers are great for marking plastics for that very reason. I wouldn't expect it to melt the top surface very well. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think it'd be a great idea. Just make sure your first layer is still kind of warm when you're going across. Interesting thought experiment, though. US water rockets. I would cherish spam from Makers Muse. I'll get on it then. I'll get some spam going. Shishakli Oz. There we go. Makers it rain. I do love how Twitch has the whole make it rain thing with the bits. I think that's super cool. Yeah, YouTube has a long way to go with catching up to Twitch's streaming output. This is pretty poor in terms of what Twitch allows you to do now. Playnimations, thanks so much for the 20 euros for a good filament roll. I do need some good basic PLA, actually. I have a lot of weird filaments. I was packing them the other day for storage, and I was like, I have lots of weird filaments. I don't have any like good basic filaments. So I'll probably go get some eSun or something. All right. Ron, I'm late as usual. Don't worry. This was completely unannounced, and I will leave it up for the channel to watch afterwards. This is just basically me recapping the events that have been happening this year on YouTube's. Someone's, hey, it's make an Abacus drive. I looked into that. I do think it's cool. If you guys haven't seen the Abacus drive, check it out. It's very complicated. I don't have the skills to model it, I'll be honest. I'm an industrial designer by trade, not an engineer, and you need to know engineering principles to even come close to modeling that. Firedoodle, what do you think of the Monoprice printers? The Monoprice printers are renamed, usually Wanhao 3D printers, or Malian printers, depending on which one, and they're pretty good. They have huge communities around it on YouTube, on Facebook, and YouTube. Sean saying, are you going to do a vlog on moving? Perhaps. It might be very messy. We have to do it very quickly, like in 10 days, before we go go to family for Christmas. So, yeah, maybe. No promises. Oh, man. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Probably going to leave it there, and I will leave this on the channel if anyone wants to watch it again. I really hope it puts into perspective how the state of play is right now for YouTube and people like myself, and hopefully it helps people who are looking into getting into YouTube and what you're really in for, and to sort of have your expectations realistic. But it is definitely possible. And again, I'll try to find the videos for the Linus Tech Tips, like how I got here video, because that's really interesting how he got to what he does. Again, literally fell into it because he was working in the industry and making videos like I did, and then people found them across the world. And also I'll link Tim Schmoyer's content too, because he's hugely valuable for growing a YouTube channel. And yeah, sorry guys, I have to go. Go say hi to Lady Muse, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you again very shortly here on Makers Muse. The next video will be the part 3 on the budget makerspace, which is the computer and software that you need for your $500 makerspace. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very shortly here on Makers Muse. Catch you later guys. Bye. I don't know why I do that, it's just my sign off thing. Habit. Bye.